Good. I think we're there. Could I just ask parents, firstly, to, if they are on the internet, on the church internet, do remove yourself from it. Obviously, we're streaming to a virtual audience. Secondly, second announcement: toilets. I know there's every chance they may be required. Just go to the back of the room, and somebody, one of the front of house, can assist on that regard. Anyway, let's get ourselves ready. Are you all sitting comfortably? Good. Well, let's start. Can I welcome to the stage? Shall I try that again? The brilliant Rob Biddulph.
Thank you very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. Can you hear me? Is my microphone working? It's the world's biggest Madonna microphone, isn't it? I can see it out the corner of my peripheral vision. It's kind of slightly distracting, but I'm glad it's working. First of all, thank you all so much for coming. It's lovely to see so many of you in real life. It's nice to actually, you know, usually I'm on your laptop, aren't I? And I don't get to see what you guys are doing when we're drawing along together. So it's very, very nice to see you in person here in Tring. We're in Tring, right? I'm in the right place. Tring. Let's see if this works. Tring. That's Tring, right? The reason I ask is because a couple of weeks ago I was in Yeovil and I put up a picture of Yeovil that wasn't Yeovil. Slightly strange start to the show. So that's Tring, right. Hands up who knows what Tring is famous for. Oh, nobody knows. Okay, young lady here in the rather lovely t-shirt. Tring Museum, is that Tring Museum? Is that what it's famous for? No, that's not what I'm thinking of. Anybody else got any ideas? Okay, young man there. Pardon? Because you live here. It could be that, but that wasn't what I was thinking of. Young lady in the front. The restaurant with the big bell. No. Right. I am going to tell you what Tring is famous for. Okay? Tring. I can't believe you don't know this, but Tring. Don't fail me now. Right. Have you turned your computer off? What? Is it frozen? No. This is not a good start. Is this because of the streaming? Here we go. We're in. Tring is famous for aliens. Didn't you know? I can't believe that nobody knew that Tring is famous for aliens. It is the alien capital of the world. There are more aliens per head in Tring than anywhere else in the whole world. I can't believe you didn't know this. Are you just messing with me? You didn't know this? Oh, actually, do you know what? I think I know why you might not know this. Because aliens are masters of disguise. There are two things they are really good at disguising themselves as. One of them is really obvious. Teachers. Of course it's teachers. Everyone knows that. Everyone knows that. But the other thing, parents. Aliens, brilliant at disguising themselves as parents, but fortunately there is a really brilliant, foolproof method of telling if a parent is an alien or not. You just ask them. You just say, are you an alien? If they say no, that means they're an alien. Shall we conduct a little experiment? Yeah? What do you think? Yeah. Excuse me, madam. You thought sitting on the front row, you thought you had a nice view. Excuse me, madam. Just wondering, are you an alien? She said no. Alien in the front row. Alien in the front row. So listen, guys, because we are in the alien capital of the world, I need you all to keep vigilant, keep an eye out, okay? Pay attention. If you see one of these little aliens on my screen behind me, I need you to warn me. I need you to shout as loudly as you can the word alien. We're going to have a practice after 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Perfect. This is going to work perfectly. Okay, right. Let's get this party started then, shall we? We're going to do a bit of drawing later on, so hopefully you've got pens and pencils and pieces of paper, stuff like that. We're going to have a couple of stories. I'm going to tell you a bit about how I became an author. But we are going to start with a story, if that's all right with you guys. Oh, come on, here we go. And I am going to tell you a very short story about a very, very long doggy. Who knows what kind of dog that was? Down the front here. Your hand went up. A sausage dog, that's right. So normally, at this point in my show, I read one of my stories, which is called Odd Dog Out. Anybody read that book before? Jolly good, a few of you. But it's a very exciting day today, because I'm going to read you a story that I have never read before. Well, I've read it. I wrote it. I've read it when I wrote it. I've never read it in public before, so I'm a bit nervous about it. But I figured I could read it today, because we're, what, mid-November now? So we're officially allowed to start talking about Christmas, right? Okay. So I have got a little Christmas present for you. Let's see if this works. Sound worked perfectly in rehearsals. I don't know what's going on. It's something to do with the live streaming, I think. So, sorry, live streamers. Right. Okay. Here we go. An Odd Dog Christmas. An Odd Dog Christmas. Are you all ready? Len, let's begin. What, you saw an alien behind me? I don't know if I believe you or not. Clicker. It's really imperative that my clicker works. Very quickly. Let's just try once more. Right. Odd Dog Christmas. Oh. The good thing about my show is it's so slick. See, it's like so professional. I don't know. No, there wasn't. You were just playing tricks on me. Did it? That's magical, isn't it? It just disappeared. My clicker doesn't work, basically, so it can't have been because of my clicker. Right. Let's start the story, shall we? Are you ready? Here we go. For festive dogs, a festive day, it's Christmas Eve. Hip, hip, hooray. Singing, baking, rapping. Fun, a merry time for everyone. But wait, look closer. Can you see one dog behaving differently? Someone on this carousel is jingling a different bell. That's our friend, the Odd Dog Out, isn't it? Do you recognize the Odd Dog Out from the first book? So every other dog is happy and having a lovely festive time, but she looks a little bit miserable. Let's see why, shall we? I'm stumped, she sighs. Confounded, stuck. I've shopped all day, but still no luck. My special friend, our Christmas date. I have no gift, now it's too late. So her special friend has invited her around for Christmas dinner on Christmas Day, but she has not been able to find a present to buy for him. And she is really worried because it's evening on Christmas Eve. What's she going to do? Let's see, shall we? As Christmas Eve turns out its light, she wanders through the silent night. What's this? A sign? An arrow too? She takes a breath and walks straight through. Well, bless my bones! Is this a dream? A winter wonderland supreme, with candy canes and gingerbread and jolly elves in green and red. But wait, look closer. Can you see someone's not feeling Christmassy? A sniff, whoop, works too well now. A sniff, a cough, a loud achoo. This red-nosed reindeer is feeling blue. Poor thing, she says, you don't look well. You've got a sniffle, I can tell. He blows his nose, he wipes his eyes. You're right, the poorly reindeer sighs. I hate to moan or cause a fuss. Tonight's a special night for us. But truth be told, he turns away. I'm far too ill to pull the sleigh. Her tummy flips, her belly flops as finally the penny drops. Tonight, the sleigh. Who do you think that reindeer is? What do you think that reindeer is going to do tonight? What do you think? What could a reindeer be doing on Christmas Eve? What do you think? You don't know. Nobody knows what reindeers do on Christmas Eve. This is crazy, right? What do you think? Pull Santa's sleigh. You might be right. Let's see, shall we? They head back to the reindeer shed and poor old Dasher goes to bed. But then a warm voice, deep and clear, says, "Hello, friend. I'm glad you're here." Who's that? Santa Claus, that's right. "You see," declares the chap in red, "we've got a busy night ahead." And, says he with worried frown, "we are, it seems, a reindeer down." This dog, she doesn't hesitate. She smiles a smile and stands up straight. "I'm ready, Santa. What's the plan? I'll help in any way I can." How could she help? How could the odd dog out help when there's one reindeer missing? And so, with odd dog flying high, they blaze a trail across the sky. You are right. Odd dog out helps pull the Christmas sleigh. Whoop. Their busy night is at an end, and odd dog's thoughts turn to her friend. Santa smiles. "Here's my advice. Well, toys and games are very nice. A simple present from the heart is always the best place to start." So because the odd dog out helped Santa out, he is helping her out with a bit of advice for present buying. Let's see what happens. And just like that, a good idea. There we go. She's had a good idea. Let's see what her idea is, shall we? For festive dogs, a festive day, of festive smiles and festive play. Caring, sharing, friendship, fun. What has she done? What's she done for her friend? What do you think she's done? She has drawn a lovely picture of her and her friend. What a nice present that is. So caring, sharing, friendship, fun, Merry Christmas. Come on. No, it's not going to work. Merry Christmas, everyone. There's a really lovely picture that took me ages to draw at the end, which isn't showing on the screen. I hate you, clicker. Right. Anyway, that is the end of the story. It's a really nice, if I do say so myself, little festive story, which you have seen. You have seen at least a bit of it. So if you want to see the rest of it, come and have a look at the book. But the Odd Dog Out stories are stories that I really like to tell because they have little messages behind them. This one's all about the fact that actually it's not what you buy, it's the thought behind the present that you buy. And the first Odd Dog Out book is all about how it's good to be yourself. You don't need to follow the crowd and be like everybody else. Okay, so speaking of following the crowd and not following the crowd, and being yourself, hands up who knows what they want to be when they grow up. I'm talking to the grown-ups here just as much as the children. Okay, let's have a look. Is there anyone? I can't see. It's very hard to see at the top. Okay, let's see. The little girl in the front row at the top there. Pardon? A teacher. Not an alien, a teacher. No, right, okay, a teacher. Okay, young lady here in the pink. A door maker. A jewelry maker. I thought a door maker. I've never had door maker before. Okay, right over there at the end. Pardon? An author. You're my favorite. One more over here, young man. An alien. You want to be an alien when you grow up. Okay, hands down. You said you want to be an alien, right? That's what you want to be. Yeah, I know, I just said that. He wants to be an alien, doesn't he? What, do you reckon you saw an alien on the screen behind me? You sure there was an alien on the screen behind me? Ah! Did somebody shout alien at this picture? The cheek. The cheek of it. The reason I've got this picture up here, now this picture, believe it or not, is me when I was about 5 or 6 years old. When I was 5 or 6 years old, there were two things that I wanted to be when I grew up. One of them was a footballer. I had an uncle who was a footballer, so I wanted to be a bit like him, play for my favourite team. Now, shall I tell you what my favourite team is? This could divide the room. It's Arsenal. Oh, yes, Arsenal scarf. Somebody with taste down there. So I wanted to be a footballer, but the other thing that I wanted to be is something called an illustrator. Who knows what an illustrator is? Right, let's see. Yes, you there. Someone who draws, somebody who draws pictures in a book, not just in a book, anywhere. Somebody who draws pictures for a living, they are an illustrator. Now, the reason that I wanted to be an illustrator is because of this picture here. Now, I did this picture when I was in reception at school. So I was 4 or 5 years old. I drew this picture of some children dancing around a maypole. The reason I drew this picture of some children dancing around a maypole is because at my school, we had a summer fair. And just before the summer fair, there was a drawing competition. Everyone in the whole school could enter. You just had to draw a picture of something to do with the summer fair. So I drew this picture of some children dancing around a maypole. Can you see up there that somebody has written a little tiny letter P? Can you see that? Well, that P stands for prize. Because I was very lucky and I won first prize in the drawing competition in my whole school. And I can remember the day that my head teacher came into the classroom and he said, right, which one of you is Robert? And I sort of put my hand up and I stood up and I went to the front. I thought I was going to get told off for something. I thought I must have broken a window or something playing football. But no, he said, congratulations, you've won first prize in the drawing competition. Brilliant, I thought. I must admit, my first thought was, what's my prize going to be? It's probably going to be like a new bike, isn't it? Or maybe a Nintendo Switch, something like that. It was neither of those things. Shall I tell you what my prize was? A pencil. Somebody's seen my act before. My prize was a pencil. I know it doesn't sound very exciting, but do you know what? I treasured that pencil. I loved that pencil because that pencil stood for something. It stood for the fact that somebody thought that I was good at drawing. And I don't think anyone had ever really said that to me up until that point. So what happened was, as I got older and even more stylish, do you think I look pretty cool in that picture? Pretty cool, pretty cool. As I got older and even more stylish, because somebody had said that they thought I was good at drawing, I carried on drawing. One of my favorite things to do was take the books that my teachers would read to me at school and my parents would read to me, and I'd write my own stories for those characters. And I would draw the pictures and I would staple them down one side like that and make little books that I would hand out to my friends and my family. I'd also spend a lot of time making my own comics that I would photocopy and I'd hand out to my friends at school. So I'd invent all the characters, write little stories for them, do the little voice bubbles with their stories in. I'd even do the puzzle pages, things like that. Another thing that I did a lot of was copying my favorite cartoon characters. Now, copying gets a little bit of a raw deal. Some people think that it's cheating somehow. And maybe it is if you're doing a maths test or something, fair enough. But if you're drawing, actually, I think it's a really, really good way of getting better at drawing because you get to see how other artists put their characters together. And it really, really helps you develop your own style. As anybody who's done any Draw with Rob videos with me will know, you see how I draw certain things and then you can go on and you can invent your own characters. So I did a lot of that. I drew this particular character here, Garfield, a lot, and it was really fun. You saw what? All right, are you saying if I turn around now, I'll see an alien on the screen? All right. Is it gone? No. You're an alien. You're an alien. You're on their side. You're food. Right, okay, I'm going to turn around. Ready? Here we go. Oh. Result. You guys playing tricks on me. I did this drawing when I was about 9 or 10. So you can see by the time I was 9 or 10, I was getting really good at things like going slow when you get to the edges when you're colouring in. The reason I was getting good at it is because I was spending so much time drawing, because drawing is just like anything else. The more you do it, the better you get at it. If you want to learn how to play the piano, you have to put in the practice. It's exactly the same with drawing. The more you do it, the better you get. So by the time I was 9 or 10, I was drawing pictures like this, and my teachers at school would start to say, do you know what, actually, we think you're pretty good at drawing. Maybe when you're a bit older, you should think about going to a place called art college. I said, what's art college? And they said, well, it's just like school, but you just get to draw and paint all the time. Well, that sounded pretty good to me. So as I got older and older, I kept on practicing, kept on drawing. And by the time I got to 18, off I went to art college, where I spent 4 years painting fruit. So, you know, you name a fruit, I did a painting of it. It was great. It was fun. But when it came to the time that I had to leave art college and find a job, couldn't find a job as an apple painter anywhere. So I ended up going to work for lots of famous newspapers and magazines, designing the pages, all that kind of thing. And it was a lovely job. But you know what? I always remembered those days when I used to make my own comics, make my own storybooks for children. And I used to think, oh, maybe that's something that I should have done for my job. But then something happened to me that changed everything. I had children, okay? Now, these are my 3 girls. We have Poppy, Kitty, the big one's Ella. Can you see this cat? Oh, you already know the name of my cat, do you? I was going to say, my cat's got a really embarrassing name. Yeah, the cat is called Catface. So it's really embarrassing. I know. The reason she's called Catface is because she's not one of the... I didn't go and get her in a pet shop. She just turned up in the garden one day. And we would say, oh, look, Catface is back in the garden again. Before we knew it, she'd moved in. And now she is we've adopted her. She's our cat. So can you imagine, you know, when you go to the vets with your cat, okay? Talking to the parents here. You go to the vets and you can see, I don't know if you can tell, but my cat is quite kind of, how do you describe her? She's sort of spherical, my cat, okay? So can you imagine how embarrassing it is when I'm sitting in the vets with a perfectly round cat on my lap? And when it's our turn to go in, they don't call my name. Oh no, they call the cat's name. Catface Biddulph. Oh my God. Up I get with the world's roundest cat. It's not even the most embarrassing pet name in my family because my brother, that's not my brother, I should say at this point, just in case you thought there was a family likeness. My brother has got a little dog. And if you thought Catface was an embarrassing name, wait till you hear this. Because when they got this dog, they thought it would be a good idea to let their little girl choose the name for this dog. Now, their little girl was 2 years old at the time. They said, right, whatever you choose, that is what this dog is going to be called. Are you ready for this? And I promise you, this is the truth. This little dog is called Toothpaste. Toothpaste the dog. I promise you, it's the truth. Toothpaste. It's a girl's name. Obviously, you all knew that, though. Toothpaste is a girl's name. So again, sometimes I have to look after this dog. I have to take it for a walk in the park when my brother is on holiday. So if you see a man with grey stubble and a cap and glasses shouting out toothpaste at the top of his voice in the North London park, you will now know why. Right, who knows what my dog's called? Does anyone know what my dog's name is? Okay, down the front. You forgot, didn't you? You instantly forgot. Come on then. Bingo. No, close. Okay, back there. Yeah. Ringo. Ringo is my dog. Would you like to see Ringo? Here's Ringo. I did want to bring him along with me today because Ringo, I don't underestimate the fact that Ringo is far more popular than I am. More people would like to see Ringo, but he would cause chaos if he was here, trust me. I know you would have liked that. Everyone would have liked it, but I want you to pay attention to me, not Ringo. Anyway, where was I? Yes, something happened to me that changed everything. I had children. When I had children, we started buying lots of books to read at bedtime. Hands up who has a bedtime story. Lots of you, jolly good. Well, you might recognize some of these. These were our favorites. Has anyone ever read this one? A little known one called The Gruffalo. I'll flick through some of the others. These were our favorites. You might recognize some of them. Very Hungry Caterpillar. The Grinch, my favorite children's story of all time. The Bit of Lauren Child. Oh, that's my favorite. Richard Scarry's my absolute favorite. What about that one? I remember that from when I was little. I bet all of you have read this next one. Are you ready? The Tiger Who Came to Tea. So I would read all these books at bedtime to the girls, and I would think to myself again, oh, this looks like a really, really nice thing to do for a job, you know, to make children's books. I think I might be able to write a children's story. I think I might be able to draw the pictures to go with it too. So do you know what? I thought, all right, I'm going to have a go. I didn't know for sure if I could do it, but if you don't try, you never know, right? So I went away with my pencils and my pens and my paints, and I started drawing. Because I thought, you know what? If I want to become a children's author, I need to practice. So I'm going to do some drawings of things that children might like to look at. So off I went, and I started drawing. I drew pirates. Kids love pirates, right? I drew a pirate scene. I drew dinosaurs. Children like dinosaurs. Then I thought, what about spaceships, aliens and things? Before you say that's not the right kind of alien, before you shout out alien at me at the top, that worked well. I literally just said that's the wrong kind of alien. The one you want is the one with the tentacles and the thing is there. I'm confident now. I'm confident now. You guys, you're playing tricks on me. Why are you doing this? I should turn around quicker. I know. Then I thought, I need to practice drawing children themselves. Here we go, a page full of girl characters, page full of boy characters. Then I thought, there's always lots of animals in children's books, right? So here we go. Lions, tigers, elephants, dogs, and cats. We've got a great big tower of meerkats over there, peacocks, hippopotamuses, hippopotamus, I don't know. So I drew all these pictures, drew them all, printed them out on great big pieces of paper. I took those pieces of paper, I put the piece of paper in a folder. I put that folder under my arm. I got on the tube and I went into the middle of London, which is where all the publishers work now. Publishers are the people that make the books. And I showed them all of my drawings. I said, well, what do you think? Am I good enough to make my own children's book? And they said, actually, we really like your drawings. And there was one group of animals on this page in particular that they liked the most. Hands up who wants to have a guess at which of the animals on this page. Your hand went up first. Tiger. Wasn't the tiger. There isn't even a tiger on that page, but never mind. We'll gloss over that. Okay, yes? The peacock. No. I draw, you draw t-shirt. She's going to get it. She's definitely going to get it. Penguins. It was the penguins. They saw my penguins. And they said, right, have you got a story for these penguins? Because we really love your penguin characters. Now, do you know what? I can't even remember doing this drawing. I was doing them so quickly. Can't remember doing it. But 3 or 4 publishers said, we love your penguins. Can you come up with a story for your penguins? So I thought, right, penguin, kind of bird, right? Penguin's a kind of bird. But what's different about penguins to most other kinds of birds? I'm not asking anyone up there because I can't see through the light. Okay, yes, you in the blue top. Penguins can't fly. Very good. So I thought, right, I'm going to write a story about a penguin who does fly. How can I get a penguin up into the sky? I know. What if he goes out flying a kite on a very windy day and ends up getting blown away? You know that book, do you? So I wrote the story all about Penguin Blue here. He goes out with his kite on a windy day. He gets blown away across the sea. He ends up in a place that penguins aren't usually found. Where does he end up? You remember? The rainforest. He ends up in the jungle. He has to think of a clever way of getting back home again. So I wrote the story. I drew some of the pictures. I showed my story and the pictures to the publishers in London. And I said, what do you think? And he said, we really like it. We're going to turn it into a real life, actual children's book. And I couldn't believe it. Pretty soon I started seeing this book with my name at the top of it in the windows of bookshops, on the shelves of libraries, in schools. And to this day, I promise you, I have to pinch myself when I see my book in a bookshop window, because for me, it really is a dream come true to be a children's author. I really love it. Why do I have to pinch myself? That's a very good question that I've never had before. Just to make sure that I'm not asleep. So, sometimes if you're not sure if I can't believe I'm saying, if you're not sure if you're awake or asleep, you pinch yourself, and if you can feel it, then you're awake, right? Will that do? Yeah, okay. Am I dreaming now? I don't know. The best thing about it was the publishers said that I could write more stories. So I went away and I wrote loads more stories. I wrote one about a bear who loses his growl, the sausage dog one, pirates, one about show and tell, one called Show and Tell, one about Kevin, all sorts of different books. I don't think I've done an alien one. No. Oh, yeah, there's an alien in Show and Tell. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. Sometimes, wait, it's like, sometimes I draw pictures for other people's books. You might have heard of Flat Stanley. I do the pictures for the Flat Stanley books. There's a very famous author called Michael Bond. Who knows what Michael Bond is famous for writing stories about? Okay, my friend down here with the Ringo t-shirt. Paddington Bear. He wrote the Paddington Bear stories. You might have seen the films based on his books, but he also wrote about a character called Parsley the Lion, and I was very honoured to be asked to do the illustrations for that book. So it's a really lovely job that I feel very, very lucky to be doing. But the reason I wanted to tell you about all of this stuff is because I want you to remember something. Hopefully you can see that there's a straight line from when I did that drawing when I was in reception to me becoming an author. well, maybe it's not a straight line. There were a few ups and downs along the way. So it's a bit of a wobbly line, but there is progress. You can see the progress I made from being that 4-year-old doing that drawing to becoming an author. So my message to you guys, whatever it is that you want to be when you grow up, well, I'm not sure about an alien, that might be a tricky one, but if you want to be a teacher or a footballer or a ballerina, whatever it is you want to be, you can do it if you put your mind to it and you practice, and you don't give up, because I am living proof of that. I am doing my dream job. Right, what can I tell you about now? I'm nervous about standing on this side of the stage. It seems to be worse, but let's see if this works. So, right, you sure? You sure there's alien? No, this is good. This is good. We're in the zone now. We're in the zone. Draw with Rob. Who knows what Draw with Rob is? Did anybody draw with me during lockdown? You did. Oh, I've just seen there's a screen up there. Right, for those of you that don't know what Draw with Rob is, it's something that I started right at the beginning of lockdown. I was sitting on the sofa watching the news, and they said on the news they're about to shut all the schools. So I thought, right, there's going to be lots of children stuck at home looking for things to do. I actually thought there's going to be lots of parents stuck at home looking for things for their children to do, if the truth be told. So I thought, I think I can help. At all of my live shows, I do a draw-along. I thought, right, what I'm going to do, I'm going to film one of these draw-alongs and I'll put it up online, and it might give kids and parents something to do for 20 minutes or so, a couple of times a week. So I saw the news on the Sunday, recorded the first video on the Monday, put it up on YouTube on the Tuesday, and I'm not joking, I was on News at 10 on the Wednesday, because it's the most surreal time of my life. Thousands and thousands of people started following these videos and brilliantly posting pictures of their drawings online. So my feed at the beginning of lockdown, all through lockdown actually, was this lovely sort of stream of happy children holding up all of their drawings. Look at that, lots of smiling faces. And what I really, really love about Draw with Rob is the fact that we all start off drawing exactly the same thing. You know, we're literally doing a step-by-step drawing together. But look, everyone's drawings look totally different. And you know what? That is the beauty of art. There is no right or wrong answer. That's why I always say, if you make a mistake, just keep on going, because there's no such thing as a mistake, really, with art. But everyone's drawings, we start off in exactly the same way, but everyone's drawings look different. You can't help but put a bit of your personality into your artwork. And I really, really love that. Does anyone know what this drawing was special? What was special about this drawing? Young lady here. Yeah, you. What was special about it? It was when we were trying to break a world record, which we managed to do. We broke the world record for the largest ever online art class. Look, here I am with my little certificate. Did anyone do this with me? You don't need to clap. Did anyone do this with me? So we've got quite a few world record holders in the audience. We had nearly 46,000 households join in. We think it was about 120,000 people all drew this whale with me live. Not this whale. That's not a whale. That is me. I know there's a bit of lockdown weight going on, but come on, that's ridiculous. Anyway, we drew this whale here. So that was a lovely thing to do. Again, during lockdown, everyone was on their own. You've got a world record t-shirt. Very cool. Everyone was on their own, but we were able to be together by drawing together and things like, you know, PE with Joe together. It brought people together, didn't it? At a time when we were all apart. People started saying to me, can you do a video every single day? And I was like, well, no, I've got to write some books, I'm afraid. So what we decided to do was make some activity books that we could send out into the world. So you could do a drawing with me every single day if you want in these activity books. This is the latest one. If you haven't seen it, it's a goodie. It's called Monster Madness. So it's full of all these characters here, and there's loads of puzzles and activities in there. There's bits where I start the drawing off. You guys get to finish them. We've got games in there, and of course, we've got lots of draw-alongs. So I'm very, very proud of this book. Right, hands up who would like to do a live episode of Draw with Rob right now. Shall we do it? Okay, right. If we're going to do a live episode of Draw with Rob, you need your pencils and your pieces of paper. And we also need our theme tune. Let's see if the volume is going to work for this. Here we go. To that? Is it crashed? Not to worry. Let's just do the drawing. Right. Everyone get their pencils and pieces of paper ready, and we will start. You've got the length of time it takes us to do the drawing to fix the PowerPoint. Okay, right. So, for those of you that haven't done one of these with me before, this is how it works. Lots of people tell me they don't think they're very good at drawing, and I say, well, actually, I think everybody can draw. Some people just need a little bit of help with the order we do the drawing in, which is where I come in. Because what I'm going to do, on my big bit of paper here, I am going to draw a little bit of drawing, then I will stop and you can copy what I do, okay? Don't worry about copying me exactly. Just do your own interpretation of what I draw. But I'm going to break it down into tiny little bite-sized pieces. So it'll be a line here, a circle there, a bit of scribble here. And we hopefully, by the end of it, we'll put it all together. Because I will draw, then you will draw. I draw, you draw. I draw, you draw, I draw, you draw, I draw, you draw, I draw, you draw. And at the end, we're going to end up, I've got a catchphrase, this is hilarious. At the end, we will end up with a picture that we're very proud of. Right, so, are you ready? We're going to start. Now, this is my favorite ever start to a Draw with Rob, okay? Because what I want you to do is right in the middle of your piece of paper, I want you to scribble. Like that. I want you to keep your scribble roughly circular. So in a rough kind of circular shape, like that. But it can be as much or as little scribble as you like. But I'm going to do mine quite sort of dense, my scribble. And I need you to leave quite a bit of space around your scribble because we are going to draw around it. So something like that. Can everyone see? Everyone can see, yeah? And I know there's lots of you at home drawing along, so hopefully it's all working for you guys. Oh, look, the PowerPoint's working again. So we see if we can get the theme tune going. PowerPoint's working, but the clicker's not. Is that what they're watching? Ah, so they're on that. Okay. Right. So the next thing I want you to do is, coming out of the top of your scribble, right in the center, I want you to draw a vertical line. Coming straight up, like that. And then, from the top of that line, we are going to go downhill. Not very far, just a couple of centimeters or so, like that. Then from the bottom of that line, we are going to go horizontally about a centimeter. And then from there, we are going uphill. So we've gone down, along, and up. Then we're going to go straight down this time in a vertical line, and we're going to stop level with that little horizontal line that we did just now. So we've done two little sort of peaks. Then, from the place where we just stopped, we're going to do another diagonal line, but this is going to be a much longer one, and we're going to head off slightly downhill towards the edge of the page, about that far, like that. Do you know what it is? Then, from that point, we are going to come straight down. So we're sort of level with the top of our scribbly bit, like that. And then finally, in this little section of the drawing, we are going to go horizontally and disappear back into our scribble, like that. Hands up, who wants to have a guess at what we might be drawing? Yes, young lady. A Scottish Terrier. That's very specific. How about we just say dog? Yeah, we're doing a dog. Right, I think we should wake our dog up, shall we? So these two pointy, actually, first of all, let's finish off these pointy bits. So these pointy bits are our dog's ears, okay? Inside each of those pointy bits, I want you to draw a small triangle. And that's going to be the, what do you call it? I always call it the lining of the ear, but I don't think it's the pink bits in the ear. That's right. And then underneath the ear, we are now going to wake our dog up. Underneath the ears, I want you to draw a nice big circle. About that sort of size. And then right next to that, we're going to do another one, the same size. Literally touching like that. Because our dog is a cartoon dog, so, you know, we're breaking a few rules. We're doing both eyes on one side of the head. You're allowed to do that in cartoons. And then inside each of those circles, let's add a smaller circle that we colour in, and our dog is awake. It is the pupil, to your right. I am sorry that I didn't use the correct terminology. But you are right. You can add eyelashes if you want. Now, dogs like to sniff stuff, right? To sniff stuff, what do they need? A nose. So up in this corner here, the top right corner, I want you to draw a little quarter circle. So a bit like a corner flag markings on a football pitch or a hockey pitch. Okay? And do you remember earlier I said if you copy other people's drawing styles, you get to see how they draw certain things? Well, I always draw nostrils the same way. I always draw them as a little swirly whirly bit. I don't know why, but I just like doing little swirly bits. You'll see what I mean now. So to the left of our little corner flag thing, just draw a little swirly bit like that. And that's going to be our little dog's nostril. Then, from the bottom of the corner flag curl, we are going to go straight down, but we're going to stop just before we get to the bottom. I'm doing lots of good left-handed smudging on this drawing today. And we're going to give our dog a nice big smiley mouth now, all the way along the bottom of the face, and we're going to curve up and around the eyes like that. And look, our dog is lovely and smiley now. Now I'm going to tell you about one of my favorite artist tips. I always go on about this in my videos, so you probably know it already. If you want to make somebody look extra smiley, what do you do? Who knows? Who knows? You know all of the answers. I'm going to ask somebody else because you've asked three, but you can have the next one, okay? Who haven't I asked yet? Let's see. Young man here. What? Very good. You do exactly that. He said you put eyebrows a long way above the eyes, and this is true. It makes somebody look extra smiley. Oh, hello. Thank you. He's just giving me some notes on my performance. I know the clicker's not working very well. It's not my fault, but thank you very much. Yes, eyebrows. Add eyebrows a long way above the eyes. It makes them look extra smiley. Okay. Oh, another little tip. This is really good when you're drawing any animals. If you want to make them look even more animal-like, just add 4 little dots just below the nose and just above the mouth, like that. I'm going to do some on that side as well. And it's just a little very easy, quick graphic trick to make it look like they've got whiskers, and it just makes them look more animalish. Very, very easy. Okay, another thing. Actually, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to add a bit of shading to my dog's head. You don't have to do this if you don't want to, but I'm just going to do it by just adding some vertical lines, like that, just to colour in my dog's head a little bit. You can colour yours in properly when you get home if you like. I'm doing mine very quickly. Now, Illustrator, something you need to know about illustrators is we're very lazy. Whenever we can take a shortcut, we take that shortcut. You'll see what I mean in a second when I draw this dog's legs, right? This is tricky, so I hope you are equal to the task, okay? The dog needs 4 legs. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Done. Can you do it? I know you're not professional artists, but give it a go. Equally, the tail. All right, we'll make the tail a bit more complicated. Let's add a little bit of fur to our tail, like that. But there we go. Pretty much our dog is finished. I'm now going to tell you my favorite artist tip of all time. You will definitely all know this one. If you ever draw something standing on the floor and you want to make it look like they're standing on a surface, what do? Shadow. Shadow. We're going to add a bit of scribbly shadow by the feet. Just a little bit of scribble like that, and it makes it look like they're standing on a surface. Easy peasy. The final thing you need to do to your drawing, the most important, you need to sign it. You need to let everybody know who has created this wonderful work of art. Once you have signed your drawing, I want you to hold it up above your head so I can see it. Because this is the beauty of being live. Oh, we're switching. That one's mine. This is the beauty of me actually being live in person doing this. I get to see your drawings. Look at that on an iPad. Brilliant, amazing. Oh, wow, slightly dispiriting seeing how many of these are better than my ones. My one, brilliant, that's brilliant, very good. Excellent work, very, very, very good. Wow, so many talented artists in today. Let's have a look over this side. Amazing, very good, down the front. Excellent work, Mum and Dad. Fabulous work, very good, excellent, brilliant. Love that at the back there, wow. Let's have a look up there, through the light. Amazing, amazing, so good. So many talented artists. Excellent work. Okay, put your drawings down. So we are going to come back to this little doggy in a minute or two, okay? Right, so we see if this is working. Just talk amongst yourselves for a second. We're not back in the game. We're not back in the game. So this little dog, yeah, we are going to come back to it in a second. But before we do that, I want to tell you about a different book. But we might have a bit of trouble if we can't get my clicker to work. Shall I come and stand back there with the laptop? I don't know what to do if this happens. Should we play a game? I spy. It's like going on a long car journey. Hang on, we're restarting. Does anybody know who that dog is? Anybody got any ideas who that dog is? Oh, something's working. It's working. We're working. We're back. Yes, we're back. Right, you saw a little glimpse of something there. Now, I want to tell you, one of the questions that I get asked more than any other actually is, where do you get your ideas from for books, okay? Now, the truth is, I don't really know. They just sort of appear sometimes. The trick with ideas, I think, there's two tricks. First of all, you have to remember the idea, because I don't know about you guys. If an idea comes in through this ear, I've got about 10 seconds to write it down before it disappears out of the other ear forever, okay? So what I do, I have my phone with me and I quickly make a note of the idea for a story, quickly. So I've got this big list of like one sentence ideas on my phone. And hopefully, a couple of those I'll be able to expand into bigger ideas for storybooks, okay? And a story can start from anywhere, at any point. And I'm going to tell you about one story that I've written. I'm going to try and explain how that idea came into being, okay? Now, let's see. Is this going to work? Yes. Okay. Now, these Post-it note drawings, these are something that I did for my youngest daughter. Now, when she was starting at nursery school, in reception, she was very nervous about staying for lunch at school. She'd never stayed for lunch at school. So somebody had the idea for me to draw a little drawing on a Post-it note and hide it in her lunchbox to cheer her up when she got to lunchtime at school, okay? So I thought, that sounds like a good idea. On the first day, I did a little drawing of a Mr. Man or something very quick, put it in her lunchbox, and she said, Dad, what are you going to draw for me tomorrow? And I was like, well, I thought this was like a one-time only gig, to be honest, Poppy. But anyway, I drew something for her the next day. Then I drew something for her the next day, and the next day, and the next day. And I ended up doing a drawing for her every single day that she was at primary school. Now, that was about 2,000 drawings, some of which you saw there. And you can see they weren't just Mr. Men by the end of it. It went a bit viral at one point, so I thought I'd needed to up my game and actually put a bit more effort in because more people were seeing it than just my daughter. But I would do this thing, and I thought, well, it's a really, do you know what? The thing I really loved about it was a really nice thing between a dad and a daughter, a way of me showing her that I was thinking about her when she was at school. You somewhere inside there an idea for a story. I didn't quite know what that idea was. There was a kernel of something there. And when that happens, so when you get a little bit of an idea, you need to somehow grow that idea. Now, one way of doing that is to use two very little words. And those words are what and if. So by asking myself, what if, lots of what if questions, you can grow a story. So I'll show you what I mean. First of all, I said, right, what if there was a little girl who's a kind of a cross between my two youngest daughters? Here she is. This is the little girl. You know my family. We like unusual names, right? Cat face, toothpaste. So I thought, what if she had an unusual name? Let's call her Peanut. Peanut Jones, okay? Here we go, Peanut Jones. So we've got a character for our story. What if she had a best friend and a little sister? Okay? Suddenly we've got a little cast of characters for this story. Now we're going to go back to the Post-it note idea. So what if Peanut is a bit like my daughter? She has a dad who draws a picture on a Post-it note for her and hides it in her lunchbox every day. But what if her dad has mysteriously disappeared a year or so before our story starts? No one knows where he is. Suddenly your story has got a bit of mystery to it. So what if one day Peanut is lying on her bed in her bedroom? She's missing her dad. She doesn't know where he is. She tips all the Post-it notes out onto the bed like this from that wooden box that you can see there. And she's looking through them. But as she tips them out onto the bed, she sort of hears a little rattling sound inside this box. So what if she looks inside this box and she finds a secret compartment at the bottom the box. And what if she opens that compartment and inside it she finds a pencil? And it's the most beautiful pencil she's ever seen. It looks like it's kind of hand-carved, whittled out of a piece of wood. It's more like a work of art than a pencil. So what if she decides to pick up that pencil and do a drawing with it? She's drawing it. She's thinking, this pencil feels so nice in my hands. It's a perfect weight. Glides across the page. So what if she does a drawing? What if my clicker works? What if she does a drawing of a little flower in a vase? She thinks it might be the best drawing she's ever done. So she puts it up on her bedroom wall and she goes to sleep. But what if in the morning when she wakes up, that flower has wilted? That drawing of a flower has wilted. That would be weird, wouldn't it? We're getting a story idea. What if everything she draws with this pencil comes to life? So by asking lots of what if questions, suddenly I have the beginning of a really interesting story. And that's exactly what happened. And that's how I ended up writing my first middle grade book, my first chapter book, which is called Peanut Jones and the Illustrated City. Here it is. And I thought I would very quickly read you one chapter from this book. You've got it there, have you? Jolly good. Well, if you bring it up to me afterwards, I will sign your copies for you. So I'm going to read a chapter of this story for you now. Just to give you a bit of background, Peanut has just drawn the flower in the vase. It's wilted. The next morning, she's going to school with her friend, Rockwell here. He's bought a little apple for her to eat on the way to school. And she tells Rockwell about what happened. She says, right, I did this drawing. In the morning, it had wilted. What's that all about? Well, Rockwell, he is a man of science. Science is his favorite subject at school. And he says, well, that's impossible. That can't have happened. She said, well, I know it's impossible, but it did happen. So Rockwell says, right, what we need to do is conduct an experiment, okay, to see if what you're saying is true. He says, meet me in the science lab at lunchtime. There won't be anybody there, and we will conduct an experiment. Have you got the pencil with you? Yes, she says. Okay, I'll see you at lunchtime. And that's where we are in the book. This is chapter 14, and it's called The Experiment. Here we go. Do I have to wear these? School issue plastic safety goggles over her head and let the elastic strap snap against the back of her skull. Safety first, so you last, replied Rockwell, pleased with himself for remembering one of their science teacher's many catchphrases. Right, let's do this. Where's this pencil then? Peanut pulled it out from her blazer pocket and handed it to Rockwell. He cradled it with both hands as if it were the elder wand and slowly lifted it up towards the light. Peanut thought she could hear the Hallelujah chorus playing somewhere. It's beautiful, he said in a strange trance-like voice. And then he burst out laughing. Peanut, who thought he was being serious, immediately flushed with embarrassment. Rockwell realized that he'd misjudged the situation. Actually, I think that maybe you should do this. It's your pencil after all, he stammered, handing it back to Peanut. Of course I should do this, harumphed Peanut. She grabbed the pencil from him and pulled a sketchbook from her rucksack. She sat at the bench and started to draw. Again, she was struck by the pencil's weight and how easily the lead seemed to glide across the page. It was as smooth as silk. She was so caught up with how nice the pencil felt to hold that she'd almost finished the picture before she realized what it was she was drawing. It was an apple, exactly like the one she'd eaten on the way to school that morning. Peanut looked at her sketch and smiled. It was good. You have to believe me that it was good because this isn't working. We go. It was good, better than usual. In fact, she thought it might be the best drawing she'd ever done. She held the pencil up to her eye, studied the tip, then picked up the sketchbook, turned it around, and held it up to show Rockwell. What do you think? Crikey, he exclaimed. It's brilliant. She felt her cheeks redden. Thanks. She ripped the page out of the sketchbook, grabbed a piece of tape, and stuck the drawing to the whiteboard. Okay, she said. Pick up the apple. Rockwell laughed. Yeah, right, he said, but Peanut wasn't smiling. Oh, you actually want me to do this, he said. Oh, come on, the joke's over now. If this is your way of trying to make me look like an idiot, it's not going to work. Look, said Peanut, you said yourself you have to conduct a controlled experiment to either prove or disprove a hypothesis. Well, my theory is that the stuff I draw with this pencil becomes real. If you're so smart, why don't you prove me wrong? Rockwell looked at her. He could tell she was serious. Okay. You asked for it, he said nervously. He reached out towards the picture, extending his fingers as if to grab the apple. He glanced over at Peanut and smiled. He looked back at the drawing, took a deep breath. Then something very strange happened. At the point where Rockwell expected to feel the surface of the paper, he felt nothing, not a sausage. In fact, his hand just kept moving. It kept moving into the drawing, straight toward the piece of fruit. 2 seconds later, to his utter amazement, his fingertips touched the apple. Instinctively, his hand closed around it, and then, miracle of miracles, Rockwell pulled Peanut's sketch out of the sheet of paper and held it in his hand. So there you go. The experiment proved that what Peanut was saying was true. Whatever she drew with this pencil, it became real. It was a magic pencil. Now, my question to you guys is, I forgot about the aliens. There's still aliens there. You tricksters. I'm so nervous about this. Now, my question to you guys is, if you had a magic pencil, whatever you drew with it became real, what would you draw? Anyone got any ideas? What would you draw? Young man here. An alien, of course. I don't know what I was thinking. Who else? Okay, yes, young man there. Yeah, you. A tiger. Your very own tiger. Okay, my friend down the front. A lion. So we've got a tiger and a lion. A couple more. Young lady here. A doggy. Lots of animals. Okay, and right down the front. A fish. Lots of animals. Should I tell you what I would draw if I found a magic pencil? I would draw a door. Why would I draw a door? Well, if you draw a door with a magic pencil, that would mean you could open that door. And where might it lead? It might lead to a totally illustrated world. And that's what Peanut does in this story. She opens the door and she walks into an illustrated world, an illustrated city. This city is called Chroma. And she realizes there's lots of different districts in Chroma. They've all got funny names. Here's a map of Chroma. So they're all called things like the Ink District, the Strip. Some are named after famous artists. Warholia, Charlie Point West, Vincent Fields. Who knows an artist whose first name is Vincent? Can anyone think of an artist whose first name is Vincent? Vincent van Gogh, that's right. So she realizes that this city has been around for hundreds of years and all the great artists have visited it. They've all swum in the Rainbow Lake at the center of the city. Anyone who swims in the Rainbow Lake, they become unbelievably creative. They just want to create works of art. So this city is very, very important in the world. It's the source of all of its creativity. And when she gets there, she realizes that she can draw in the air with this pencil. Whatever she draws in the air, you don't even have to draw on a piece of paper, you can just draw it in the air. So she draws a little ball. The reason she draws a ball is because the first thing that she meets is a little dog. A little dog who you have all just drawn. I describe him in the book as a scribble of fur with legs and a tail. That's why I did the legs so quickly, because he's a very quickly drawn dog. And his name is Doodle, and he plays a very, very important part in our story. And it's full of art-based adventure. She meets a cast of characters, including a giant talking alligator. She meets, come on, don't get stuck here, superheroes. She meets policeman bulldogs. She meets bad guys. I think we got a bad guy here, Mr. Stone. She meets very cute, kind of kawaii manga characters. Do you think that panda looks really, really cute? Doesn't she look cute? What about now? Not so cute now. Don't judge a book by its cover, people. And then there's a really big bad guy called Mr. White who wants to destroy the world's creativity. So it's a really fun adventure story. Lots and lots of really cool things happen. It's heavily illustrated. You will not see a chapter book with more drawings in it. I am very confident of that, because it nearly killed me to do it, I promise you. There's about 200 illustrations in it. But I'm really, really proud of it, and you'll see lots of little nods to famous paintings and artworks throughout this book. And I really think you'll like the story, even if you're a reluctant reader. Lots of short chapters, lots of drawings. It's called Peanut Jones and the Illustrated City, and I'm just going to finish by playing you a little trailer to the book now. We're going to see if this works. We're getting head shaking in the back. Don't hold your breath, people, but let's give it a go, shall we? No sound. No sound. Frozen now, but that's fine, that's fine. Now listen. While you were watching that, I just noticed something weird. I didn't even know this was here. My little bag here. I don't... Did you put... You didn't put that there. You did. Somebody put it there. That's weird. I don't know where that came from. I don't know where that came from. I wonder. I've just got a sketch. Excuse me a second. I've just got a sketchbook over here. Do you think? I don't know. I was just wondering. Maybe I should and the pencil. Do you think I should do a little drawing? My sketchbook. Why not? Why not? Let's do it. Let's do it. I'll do a little drawing. Just do it here. Bear with, people. I'm just going to do a very quick drawing. Oh look, drawing a doodle dog there. Okay, I'm going to do a very quick drawing. Here we go. Might as well. Found the pencil. Oh, it's super smooth. Oh, it feels really nice. I'm drawing this picture suspiciously quickly as well. I don't know. It's, oh, yeah. Wow, I just finished that bit of the... Yeah, it's pretty good. Okay, do you want to see my drawing? You want to see my drawing? I did it really quick, didn't I? That's quite amazing. You ready? You're scared. An apple. Just like Peanut drew in the book. And that pencil, pull it out of the piece of paper. You think I should? Should I go? I might as well. Peanut did, didn't she, in the story? Okay, I'm just going to put it here, just in front of this bag. What? This is right in the middle of the stage. It's a really good place to do it. Don't look too closely, okay? In some other places, there have been seats. I'm in the round. That's quite difficult. Okay. No, I'm just going to reach into the piece of paper. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just going to put it in front of this bag here. Okay, I'm going to reach into this piece. Magic, right? Ready? Yeah, I'll just move that. Here we go. You ready? Let's see if this works. Don't look too closely in the front row. Here we go. I'm reaching into the piece of paper. What are you talking about? Like, look over there, everyone. Right. Oh. Isn't that amazing? So it works. Who would have thought that it worked? Drawings can become real. I think that went well. I think that went really well. So listen, we are out of time. I know we overrun. I don't know, we started late, but we are out of time. Listen, it's been really nice talking to you all today. I hope you've had a nice time, despite all our little technical glitches here and there. I do want you to remember one thing, guys. As Peanut says in the book, every single pencil is a magic wand. There is magic inside every single one. So you just need to keep drawing to release that magic. One other thing to remember, guys, keep an eye out. Thank you very much indeed. Can
we have an orderly queue, please?
Where's my little friend? You can have this drawing. You answered the most questions, so you get to keep that drawing.